Okay, so yeah, as mentioned, I would like to introduce you to the Vets United Animal Welfare Training Guide. This is a collection of animal welfare training materials. The materials are aimed at people who work or train to work in the animal health field. So this means mainly veterinarians and para-veterinarians and people who are training to work in this field. So university and college students in animal health related fields, for example, animal science or animal husbandry or agricultural courses. Why did we choose this group? Because obviously animal welfare plays a big role in their daily work when they're examining animals, treating animals, handling animals. Animal welfare aspects are very important, but also they are the ones who are advising people who keep animals. They advise, for example, on appropriate housing, on feeding, on health care of animals. Informing the general public or talking with the general public about animal welfare aspects or animal welfare issues, and also working with, for example, ministries or companies on animal welfare issues regarding research or legislation. In the Animal Welfare Training Guide, it's very important that animal welfare is not an alone standing topic. So it's not the 5 freedoms and that's animal welfare. Animal welfare aspects are in every topic of the daily work. So there is a link with animal welfare and clinical examination or how to stop spreading diseases. So animal welfare spreads into all the topics. Also important that it is theory and practical. So the theory to improve the knowledge and also to gain practical experience to improve skills, but also the practice helps to develop animal welfare awareness. And I will explain about the topics later, but it is designed that the individual topics can be selected depending on the local needs, the region where you are, or the group that you're targeting, or maybe there is a specific problem at the moment, so that can be selected. They can be adapted according to the needs, and of course, other materials can be added in addition. It is available online. Important to say, it's not an online learning course, so it is not there to sit at home and do the course. As I said, an important focus is on the practice, so it is material to download and then to use in a group, in a training, in a workshop. We work a lot with university and colleges, so it is really for training and workshops. But of course, the theoretical material can also be read at the computer. So a lot of the material, especially in the last year, we used for distance learning during Corona restrictions, but then the practicals weren't possible. And everybody can use the material. You don't have to be eligible to use it or have any specific profession or run a program. It's open for everybody. All you have to do is fill in a small registration form. You can see a screenshot on the right-hand side. It is just for us to get some basic information, who is using it, what professions, for what groups, in which part of the world, but also to get contact details to ask for feedback, ask for improvement, or let people know when we put new topics on or change something. So just to get an overview of who's using it, and it is completely free to download and to use. There are in total 21 topics. It starts with introduction to animal welfare, so that's mainly the 5 freedoms and how to assess animal welfare. There is a topic on animal welfare legislation, then animal care, about housing, feeding, general care and health care. It covers the main kept species, so equines, large and small ruminants, pigs, poultry, and cats and dogs. Then there is a topic on clinical examination and humane handling. I will talk a bit about it later. Hygiene and infections. Infections cover viral, bacterial, and fungal infections, as well as parasites, and how to avoid infections. So about hygiene and vaccinations. Wound and pain management, including assessment of pain and how to recognize pain in animals. First aid, population management on cats and dogs, euthanasia, and then animal welfare and transport and slaughter. As an example, here on the right-hand side, that's how it looks online, is the first topic, Introduction to Animal Welfare. So every topic has first a lecture, then instruction for exercises, followed by a quiz. So there's questions and answers. A further reading list. This is all online, so all links to websites. There's no journals or books, and they're all freely accessible, so everybody can look at the websites to get more information on the topic. Some topics have extra materials, for example, clinical cases or report sheets or other tables, so just additional information. Some topics have short training films, and at the end of each topic there is a compact version of all the information to print out and give to the participants or the students or the people who get trained. I would like to give you a little example of the training guide, and I chose the topic clinical examination and humane handling. That is topic 4. I want to show you a few slides from the lecture, then give you some examples from the exercises. I picked a few, and then from the additional materials. And again, on the right-hand side, you can see how it looks on the website. Why did I choose handling? Because it's something that people who keep animals and work animals just very regularly have to do. So it's a very common procedure. The need to handle and restrain animals. Good handling skills are very important for animal welfare to minimize stress and pain for the animal. And also I chose it because unfortunately inappropriate handling is quite a common animal welfare issue. So as you can see here on the right hand side is inappropriate handling of a dog and an inappropriate handling, restraining method of a cattle. So the leg is being picked up and then put behind the head, behind the horn to restrain the cattle. And as you can see, that can cause quite a lot of pain and distress for the animal. So these are some slides from the lecture. It starts with just giving a general overview on handling. It is very important to observe the animal's body language and of course then to know the animal's body language to understand it, to approach confidently but not to threaten the animal. Don't make a lot of noise, talk calmly and quietly, don't move suddenly, don't use force, so use enough force to be able to handle the animal and not to injure not to injure yourself, but don't use too much force injuring the animal, and don't stare at the animal. Of course, concentrate onto the animal while handling and always be prepared to react quickly, especially when you work with animals that are not used to being handled or with large animals. Don't hesitate to ask for assistance. Take safe position, so don't stand behind a horse or put your face in front of a dog. Be very cautious when with cat bites because they can cause serious infections, and depending on where in the world you are, take precautions when you're bitten by a dog with unknown vaccination record. Take rabies precautions, so wash thoroughly with soap and water and go for post-exposure vaccination. But there's also a separate topic on rabies in the resource. When handling, of course, wear gloves and wash your hands after handling the animal to stop infections from spreading, and depending on the procedure that you're doing, additional protection might be needed, like face masks, or aprons. Then there are some examples how to handle animals. This is an example on how to handle a dog lying down. Some examples for restraining dogs. So one is a normal muzzle that can be bought, and the other one, if you don't have a muzzle on hand, a gauze muzzle. It also explains how to tie a gauze muzzle. And some more examples for cattle, so how to handle a cattle with a halter, or if you don't have a halter, how to make a rope halter, and nose twitch as a restraining method. So these are just some slides from the lecture. Then it goes on talking about handling and restraint of other species, and then the bigger part is on clinical examination. But now I would like to give you a few examples of some practicals. This one is just a written practical, and it's for clinical examination. So as all the different body systems are examined, this is asking the participants to fill in the organs of the different body systems and then their function. It's quite surprising with how much enthusiasm the participants are doing this quite often, and then it gives the solution, and the person running the training can talk through the answers and discuss with the participants. Then an example for a more active exercise is taking the heart rate. So all that's needed is a stethoscope, and then the participants can do is with each other. You take the heart rate, count the beats for 15 seconds, and then multiply it by 4 to come to a minute. And here we have some examples from our project. So on the left-hand side is a CPD project in Uganda, and on the right-hand side are students from Malawi doing the exercise. And another exercise with animals, or practical exercise with animals, is to do a full clinical examination with different species. And again, here we have some examples. On the left is students from Malawi taking the rectal temperature of a goat, and on the right-hand side is a student in the Gambia listening to the abdomen of a horse. In terms of additional materials, also handling and clinical examination has a quiz with questions and answers in the end. Then there is a further reading list linking to several websites with more information. This topic actually has quite a few films. So there's one short film on handling and restraint of different species, a film on clinical examination of ruminants, and another one on equines, and then a third film on clinical examination on small animals. We have a template for a clinical case report, which you can see on the right-hand side. It's actually a 4-page document. This is just the first side, so you fill in all the information of the animal, and then it guides you step by step through the whole examination. And we have a couple of infographics. We call them vet facts for different topics, also on the right-hand side. So this one is an infographic on how to do a rope halter. So yeah, these are just a very few examples. There's loads more materials. Here is the link, so you're very welcome to go to the link and register, and the email will go directly to me, and I can send you the login. Thank you very much for your attention.